Thanks for joining us again. Episode 3, Jared. Slasher Ripper. We're back into it. First 2 episodes released as one podcast to get us all caught up. Now we're into episode 3. How was your take? How do you feel at episode 3? And I spoke in our episode 2 coverage that this is where we're going to get sort of make or break the next couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So where did you feel this one fell for you?
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I think I enjoyed it more than episode 2.
Nice.
A lot of information coming thick and fast this episode.
Yes.
But overall, still enjoying the setting, still enjoying how they're unravelling the mystery. Loving Garvey. You know, there was some moments where his rudeness to his own staff was hilarious. So yeah, I was quite happy with this episode. Enjoyed it very much, and I think it's kind of just reinforcing my belief so far that they've really found a sweet spot for this. You know, pairing it up with the last season and this one, I feel like so far they're shaping up to be the two best seasons.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought episode 3 was quite good. It jettisoned some of that stuff that I didn't like in episode 2.
Like a chocolate ring.
Yeah. So we didn't see as much of him.
Yep.
And we didn't have the kind of... See, I think what hurt in episode 2 was that whole seance thing. Like, that really kind of was a bit of a... I didn't feel it. I didn't dig it.
Whereas, took a lot of time.
Yeah, and took up a lot of time. So the third episode sort of wisely cut that away, and also amped up the cocaine, which I dug a lot.
Yeah.
The police chief is coked to the eyeballs constantly.
Yeah.
And I love his wavering performances. 1 minute he's like, "Oh man, I gotta find these blokes." Then he's like, not mumbling something off in the corner. Like, it's just. And we kicked off the episode with the doctor saying, "Oh, look, it's totally harmless."
Yeah. I thought she was this close to saying cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's totally harmless. He was made out of a plant or something.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, old mate's here going,
he's there going, "Yeah, I need to be focused. I need to be on track. Yeah, well, you fucking laser focused now, aren't you?" Yeah.
Actually, it was unintentional comedy. He was roaming the streets like an idiot.
Well, I feel like part of it was intentional because we get a bit of Garvey. You know, he's in Garvey's fucking office talking to him with a needle in his hand. Oh shit! You know,
and Garvey says, "You need to get off that shit." I thought it was quite humorous.
Yeah, it was fun. I thought it was good.
The message written on the newspaper woman's back, the skin.
Nasty?
Yeah. But I dug it again. It's another way of kind of like creating this difference to the murders and what's being done. You know, the way all the stuff's being presented. It's gross. It's grotesque.
Yeah, taking a little bit of the period as well, like
Yes.
the newspaper, the importance of newspapers and the printing and all that.
Yeah. And I dug all that. I really did. Although she would have been mangled.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Well,
I thought
believe
that skin would not have been in one piece.
I believe the police chief, didn't he say her head was squashed like a tin can? Yeah.
I think you wouldn't have been able to get a decent piece of back skin, would you?
No, it's probably...
It's all chopped up.
Possibly.
Because they show the rollers,
Yeah.
they're covered in, like, lumps of guts and stuff.
Yeah. But maybe they were thinking ahead. They got to the point where they squashed the head like last time.
Skinned it.
Then continued rolling.
Then rolled it through. Yeah, I just rolled it through.
But don't you need the press to fucking to a portion of the printing? So
that press is exploding. Like once her head gets caught in there, that thing's breaking down.
Yeah, I think
you can just see the killer going, "Fuck!"
getting out the hammer and each letter at a time.
Oh dear. I also love the police chief as he's coked up to the absolute eyeballs and he's got that look on his face of like super tired but also laser focused at the same time.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about the widow will taunt him while he cuts off my phallus and chance to know his ass. I'm just like, oh my God.
I thought they loved it. The makeup kind of made him look a little grey. He had a kind of greyish tone to him, and as you said, eyes like dinner plates, like rambling. it was good.
That's good stuff. Yeah, the police chief was in fine form, I can say that much.
He was.
It was a very vivid description, too, of what the widow was going to do to him.
Yeah.
We also get a bit more of Garvey being quite nasty. The whole beatdown of his little henchman fella who basically wants to leave town.
Yep.
And he's saying we leave town and we start anew, and Garvey cuts his ear off.
Yep.
I thought that stuff was kind of cool. Again, just ramping up. The Garvey's now starting to get a little bit fiery because something bad happened, and they kind of touched briefly on it was a party. We were all there, you know, and I believe it is a Garvey who actually says it has to be one of the people who was there.
Yeah.
Someone knows what we did.
Well, really the first time you saw him just treat someone who is supposed to be kind of on his side or one of his crew like absolute shit, which gives you you always knew that was the case really, but it kind of just sort of reinforces it a little bit. So yeah, I thought it was interesting to see that, but I also liked a little bit of pushback at the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, we like to spoil things going on here, but prior to his henchman being done in at the end, I thought it was good. I thought it was one of the stronger episodes all round for Garvey because prior to that, there was some all-time a-hole work with the way he was talking to people. But as you said, he also got a couple of laughs with his interactions with the chief and his drug use.
The chief was in top-notch touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think his performance is just over the top. Like when he's on the gear, he's just right over the top. Like it's great. It's great. It was really
the
good
best possible way.
Yeah, it's good to see. There was still some of that magic, supernatural sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like
remember when he kind of disappeared and then appeared behind him and all that?
I feel it worked a little better.
It did because it was a bit. There was a bit. It was a lot less.
Yes,
and it was just kind of quickly sort of put into that sequence.
Yeah, it was around the detective stuff, which I think is working reasonably well. Bar one thing that I'll mention later on in the episode. But yeah, I felt. I mean, I was happy enough to have the magician kind of being thrown into it this way, and then we obviously get towards, down towards the end of the episode, we do get a suggestion that perhaps he's, not just the con man, and that he is.
Yeah, so there might be something here.
Black magic.
Black magic, yes. Which I thought was kind of cool. And I actually kind of liked the cop and the widow sort of fighting it out in broad daylight.
Yeah, that was cool.
Sort of came after him.
Yep.
He obviously the widow was there to kill the henchman.
Yes.
Then when the cop intervenes, kind of gets, there's a little bit of a chase through the streets, and he actually fights it out with her.
Yep.
And I thought that was cool. I thought that was actually a nice way to kind of like showcase that the widow kind of has a bit of a stop at nothing type of vibe about some of those people. Obviously, whoever's doing it wants to hurt them really badly. Like make sure that they get to them. So when they get the chance, they keep going. I thought that stuff was kind of cool. And I like the fact that, as I said, it was in broad daylight. It wasn't in the middle of the night in the darkness and stuff like that. So I think that played out pretty well.
Yeah, it was good.
Now, you were saying there's an issue slightly with the
detective.
The detective, yes.
Well, generally pretty good, other than when he has Garvey's henchman bailed up. He fucking spills the beans about exactly what they've found.
Yeah, I know.
He tells him, I've got a photo of you from 12 years ago. It basically just tells him exactly what they've got. There's no sort of... I mean, we talked a couple of episodes ago about Ronnie Silver negotiating over 30 grand, and he comes to the table with his best offer immediately and has nowhere to go. I feel like that's what this bloke's just done.
Yeah.
There's no kind of, look, I've got you.
Yeah.
I've got something on you.
Yeah. So build a bit of oh shit, what have they got?
Yeah. Build a bit of that, or keep it close to your chest. So he goes back to Garvey and says, well, he reckons he's got something.
Yeah.
What do you think? He just spills the beans.
He just goes 30 grand. Here it is.
30K.
Boom. I'll drop it on the table. I'll tell you to leave.
He says, "I'm calling the cops." Hang on a minute. 30 grand. What do you reckon?
What? Well, you won't leave if the cops turn up.
There's a process to go through here, people.
It's called negotiation, mate.
And if you go through that process, you don't end up having to throw the opposite party out a second-story window.
In this case, he threw a bag of coins on the ground.
Correct.
There we go. Yeah, correct. They just sort of give up the ghost. I feel like it played into the fact that we saw more of what happened. We were starting to see more of what happened 12 years ago.
Yes.
So that he kind of put that out there.
It's sort of
so we then sort of see along what happened with Mary. Is it Mary Ann?
Margaret Maher.
Close.
Speaking of that, I actually liked that they brought her more into the flashbacks.
Yes, agreed.
I thought that worked
because we got
well.
more of a sense of what's going on, and it's building up to what happened that night.
Yeah, we started to get a lot more into the nitty gritty of what actually went down and who she was, and I thought that worked very well. But the flip side of that is, as you said, probably as a result of that, detective just kind of starts grabbing the evidence and going, "Here we go. Anyone want to
ye.
One photo found from 12 years ago. If you are in said photo, I would like to chat to you at a later date when the chief stops tearing apart his office," which he's doing it.
Yeah. But also, why didn't the widow kill him? Like
the detective?
Yeah.
Because he's not a part of it.
Yeah, I know, but she had him, and I feel like you got the main detective on the case.
Yeah, but it's. I think it's.
But I guess he's doing the work for her.
It's less about that, and it's more about I want this to see the light of day.
Yeah, I want vengeance,
and I want the parties involved to suffer.
The guilty parties.
The guilty parties.
Correct. Obviously, the detective is doing some of the legwork. Uncovering some of this information, and finding out what actually went on. There's some shady shit.
At this point, if she kills the detective, leaves a clue, and the police chief turns up fucking off his head, he's not finding anything under someone's skin.
He's shaking down every pimp he can find.
I mean, his first thing was, "Oh yeah, Georges was in town 12 years ago. You've solved the case. Giddy up, we're ready to rock and roll." I don't think he's approaching the scene with the same nuance.
No, he's not. And I did like the fact that he actually ends up sort of begrudgingly saying to the bloke, "Look, do what you do.
Yeah.
Go and find me someone that we can
take down. Do what you do, because I am rat shit at the moment.
I wish I could help you, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm not for at least 24 to 48 hours. And I guarantee that I'm not back on that shit in 48 hours.
Yeah, look, I'd like to help you, but I'm strangely drawn to the bloody little clubs downtown and the red light district. I hear some music playing and I just kind of have to.
I'm strangely drawn to the opiate dens. I don't know what it is. I've never been in one until I got a dose of whatever the doctor was dishing up.
I mean, I walked past the Irish bar and heard a jig going, and fucking 48 hours later, I'm still here.
Yeah, he says, "Look, I would love to help you, but I cannot remember what's happened over the last 48 hours, so fuck." I'm not going to be much good to you.
Yeah. In general, though, not a whole lot that I didn't like about it.
No, there wasn't a lot that I didn't like.
Yeah.
The only thing that I not didn't like, but I felt like the death of the henchman, just not as grotesque as we usually get.
No.
It was more sort of torturous.
Yeah.
So
I thought we were going to see his split. His head fucking squashed like a tin can.
Exactly. I think that would have been nice. And as she's doing it, you see the police chief in the background with his pants down. Hold the line or some bullshit.
Yeah, something like that.
Totally oblivious.
Yeah.
Suspects, Jared. Suspects. You got anything?
Well, I didn't really expand the list. It was more I sort of felt like I cut a couple off.
Did you?
Funnily enough, one thing I did notice, your prime suspect at the gravesite.
He's a lefty?
He picked up the dirt and kind of let it run through his hand with the left.
Fucking lock him in. Lock him down. You know why? Because he's got form.
Exactly.
He's got form.
I mean, you've killed a bunch of people before, haven't you?
Yeah, okay. It was in the future. Hey, you did.
But this is where that works. Like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, obvious. He's got the motive. He's the one with the clear motive at the moment.
Yeah. It won't be him.
Also has been the killer previously, using his left hand.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, look, this is coming together.
But because he's been the killer in the previous season, all that's coming together and making me say, not him.
You know what? That's the kind of investigation that the chief would do. So
If the chief happened to be stumbling through the cemetery, he'd be like, you're using your left hand! Arrest him!
Yeah, that's the chief investigation if I've ever seen one. But
no, but you know,
I'm going to say that's
Look,
reasonably solid at this point.
the motive in the show, he's the one with the
he has the clear motive.
He knows, like we've been given a sense that he knows his father was not. His father was too busy in church to be doing all that.
Oh, come on. Jesus Christ.
But
I don't know, the stuff we saw with his father in the flashbacks, I think he did it. He was
trying to save her.
There was something odd about the guy, though.
Okay, fair. Well, you're in league with the chief too, with investigating.
Yeah.
Something odd about you. Shoot him up in the town square.
Yeah, hang him immediately.
And then meet me at the bar.
Yeah. Then we'll have celebratory injection.
No, I think, well, it's as I said. He's been the killer in the series before, which makes me think...
And he was in the first series,
which
so
makes
it's a
me
while
think,
back, so people won't have forgotten.
But it makes me think we're toying with you a little bit on that one.
I think
as I said, clear motive, been the killer before. I feel like I'm being played, especially because you fucking presented him front and centre with his left hand. So I'm a little dubious of that one. I still think it's someone that's sneaking around in the periphery, which is why I'm still looking at the surgeon a little.
Okay.
Although her line about I help people, though sometimes you have to cut away the disease.
Yeah,
is a little suspect.
I had her a bit. I felt she came to the fore more because of the way she was sort of filmed and the way she kind of giving these sort of long stares and shit.
Yeah.
To make it kind of feel like, she's something a bit odd about her.
Yeah.
And there is clearly something odd about her.
She's using her right hand.
Mate.
Are you saying that's bullshit?
Look, I'm sure I have picked up piles of dirt in my right hand. And I'm a left hand.
Yeah. No, but she's doing surgery with her right hand.
No! She's ambidextrous.
She's using scalpels with her right.
I'll tell you one that my wife threw out there, which it seems fanciful because I quickly sort of parried, but she counter parried. She said, "Could it be that Margaret's not dead?"
Yeah,
and I said, "But too. Margaret was gutted in the street."
Yeah.
And she was like, "But who said it was Margaret?"
Yeah,
who? Like who? 100% from 12 years ago said that that's Margaret. Especially in the 1890s where you wouldn't have had the same kind of ability to check if people were who they said they were.
Well, this is the first episode where that creeped into my head, but I'm with you. I thought we saw a shot of that person on the street.
We did.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it possible they're trying the whole... I mean,
no,
dare I say
that actress?
Yeah, I know. But dare I say, a twin or some shit? Like this could be where they could be going. I'm only throwing it out there because...
If that's where it goes, I would be disappointed because if you're going to go that angle, okay, I'm open to it, but I'm pretty sure we saw a picture of that actress on the street.
Yeah, we did.
So if you whip out, that was my twin sister, that's where you lose me.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying it's true, but I feel like because she came into it a fair bit, I would entertain that briefly.
Yep.
48 hours later, after a bender, dismiss it.
After a night with the chief?
Totally dismiss it. Because he would have talked me around. He would have said, no, it couldn't possibly be that.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be misremembering that it was actually her.
I don't know. Because it was at the end of the first episode.
Yeah,
saw the corpse on the street.
But I was pretty sure it was her.
Yeah, I think it was too. And that's why I was saying, well, we saw her gutted. So to me, that's really not.
If you're pulling out, if we saw her
If we're pulling out twin sisters and shit, we might have trouble.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And it seems like the situation they're setting up, it would be difficult for her to get out of.
Oh, of course.
They've just locked her. We've just seen her re-locked in that room. Obviously, there's more to play out, but getting back to that, that's where another one of my candidates was
ticked off
was probably, and I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing this right, but Salome.
Yeah.
Now it seems clear that she was in on setting Margaret up to be killed. So I would assume that she is now one of the 5 remaining people to be killed.
Yep,
so we still have in that crew. Are we including Garvey in that?
Garvey's
number?
in that. Yeah.
So we have Garvey. We have the police chief.
We have Crenshaw.
We have Crenshaw.
We don't have.
No. Is Crenshaw in there?
I think he was, because wasn't him and Salome both there?
In that episode, it was only Salome.
Okay.
That was there, so I'm not sure he knew about that.
I'm wondering whether he comes into it later. I thought he was in the picture.
He may have been in the picture. But was he in the... I'm just saying...
Was he involved in the whatever occurred?
We didn't see him when Margaret was taken to the place to stay.
We did not.
So that's why I'm kind of not sure he's in the 5.
Okay. That's fair.
And there's nothing to say that one of those people isn't the killer.
No,
either.
But they don't have a connection yet. We don't have them connected.
Which is why I'm still just, I'm looking at the one with the scalpel in their hand.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm a little bit upset that I didn't see her using it with the left. But
yeah. But this twin sister situation's got me. Got me excited now.
I'm actually going to have to go back and rewatch that. And
I think you're right. I think it was her. Right? I think it was her
actress.
So if it's her, I cross that off.
Yeah.
Right. I say that's fanciful and could have been interesting, but it's not because her corpse was on the street.
Yeah.
So there is no way that we're saying that she's still alive or something of that nature and exacting revenge for what happened.
Yeah. I mean, if it's her and you come up with that was my sister, I'm filthy.
Yeah, I'm
or you come up with, I was still breathing and somebody stitched me back together. They put my guts back inside and stitched me back together. And I felt okay after,
agreed.
12 years of recovery.
Agreed. The interesting angles for me, one of the key ones was Margaret sort of striking a deal somewhat with Garvey at one point there, which I feel like is an interesting way to look at to go here, and I'd like to see where that sort of goes a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's opened things up from prior to this episode. I thought, okay, well, I thought it was more of a situation of Garvey perhaps indulging in some of the things on offer, and doing what the guy in the first episode did, perhaps. Getting a little violent and accidentally killing her or doing something like he was. But now it's a situation of, no, we're going to blackmail you for your past, basically.
Yes. This is good stuff. It kind of keeps the wheels turning in the background.
And Crenshaw seems to have been tied in by essentially there was some agreement for him to hand Margaret over to Garvey in that situation.
So there's stuff that we still haven't teased out yet. But I feel like this is an angle that I didn't actually expect.
Yep.
Because I thought when they first sort of put it out there that she was like a naive young lady who had been sort of caught up in this world of like sleaze and got caught and died in something like you say. Yep. Garvey got violent, killed her. Everyone knows about it, but he's high powered and he keeps everyone quiet.
Mm.
But it seems like there's more to it than that.
Yeah, and as you said, that's part of the reason I'm enjoying it, is that 3 episodes in, we're still getting this new information, and there's still plenty to come out.
Yeah, so, I dig that. Is that everything you had?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I could still say my investigation is going about as well as the Chiefs at this point.
Yeah. It's going a mile a minute, but you're running on the spot.
Exactly.
Well, you are expending a lot of energy for nothing.
The treadmill's on about 15, and I am absolutely cranking it, but at the end of the day, I'm still exactly where I started.
Exactly. All right, that was episode 3. keep an ear out for episode 4, which will hopefully pop out next week. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.